Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Today, we're going to talk about a book that I just finished that is absolutely, in a way, life-changing. And it came to me when I needed it the most. And I didn't even know that I needed it the most when this book was given to me. So here a while back, I went to a real estate conference in Orlando, Florida. And during that time, we were on the last day of this real estate conference. And during that time, the fire alarm went off, and we're all trying to network. We're all trying to do these things, and this fire alarm goes off. And we walk outside, and I met this gentleman, and we just started having a conversation. And I'm not even exactly sure how. I'm going to reach out to the author, the guy that actually gave me this book, and I'm going to see if he will do a podcast with me because I want to go over some of the conversations we had. And I definitely want to go over the things that he put in this book that really grabbed a hold of me. And what I want to know is during our conversation, did he see things that he previously seen in himself and his daily meditation practices and his things that he did to change what he was doing to go to a different place in his life? Like, I'm really interested in that. So this book here, it came to me. He said, hey, I know you're trying to write your own book, and you've wrote an ebook so far, but you're trying to work on your other book. It's more like this thick, an actual book. And if I got another copy, I'm going to give you this book because maybe it'll help you, and maybe it'll inspire you as well, because one of his friends gave him a book and it inspired him to finish this one, which I'm glad he did. And so this book here is Change Your Thinking and Ignite Your Life. And what are you telling yourself? That's something that's really something we don't think enough about, I think. The words we speak, they matter. And I'm a big fan of Jesse Itzler and a lot of the guys in that space. And when you start really manifesting things where you're going to really go in life and what you're wanting to do personally and what you're wanting to do with your business and so on, or even your relationship, during that time, you got to really pay attention to what you're telling yourself. Like, what do you feel like your personal worth is? And what are you actually telling yourself on the day to day? Like, are you a good person? Are you telling yourself that? Are you doing the right things and surrounding yourself with the right people? Are you having the right conversations with your friends? Are you having the right conversations with your parents? Is everything you talk about negative? Those things really, really matter. And 2023, I really started paying attention to the people I hung around, the conversations I was having with the people that are in my inner circle, the things I was telling myself, the words I speak matter. Chad Wright does an amazing job of this. I got to listen to him talk at this Orlando conference. And during that Orlando conference, he talked about he felt like giving up during one of his, I think it was a 150-mile run or something like that. He was thinking about halfway through it. He's like, man, I just can't. I've made it to 100 miles and I can't imagine going another 50. And he started talking about his three pillars. And he started telling himself, I will not quit. I will not quit. And his three pillars are, a little bit different than mine, but he started repeating his three pillars to himself and got himself through that. So in this book, it doesn't really talk about the three pillars, but what it does talk about is, who he was. So it gives you a relatable story. And then it goes into the things that he did to change his life. And one of the biggest things he did was just this: what are you telling yourself? So he formed a daily mantra, he formed a daily meditation practice, his daily mantra. And he had a meditation practice that was tied to that. And I was really interested in that because he's putting himself in this, like this peak state, or he's reminding himself of who he is and things like that. So I've been really working on 3 pillars of my life and changing like everything I do, including my eating, my exercise, and my business ventures, like everything going on. I am applying these 3 pillars to my daily practice. And from that, when I finished this book, I think it was 2 nights ago, and I said, I'm going to adopt the things that's in the very last few pages of this book to myself because I really think it'll work. And I'm a big kind of a spiritual guy. I feel like things happen for a reason. And I felt like this came to me at the right time. And I really want to go down that path to see if this was something that happened to me for a reason. And again, I'm going to try and get the guy on the podcast to see if he's seen something in me that he's seen in himself at one time, or he just was just being generous. I don't know, but I want to figure that out. So anyway, I'm going to tell you what my 3 pillars are, and I'm going to tell you why they're so important to me. And I'm also going to go over why the 3 pillars to me are so important, because I feel like these 3 pillars could have took me so much farther if I would have done this earlier in life. So maybe you can apply this to yourself, maybe just the story, the screen time with us, here together on YouTube or wherever you're viewing or listening to this. Maybe these things can resonate with you. I'm not sure. So this morning I came in the office and I wrote out my 3 pillars, and I put it down on paper. I put it in my phone before, but I really hadn't just wrote it down and then just put it on paper to really, let it sink in. And I think you have to write things down to get it to sink in. So number 1 for me is being present. So being present in the moment. And so being present to me, the meaning of that is fully enjoying the moment that you are in. And it is the moment when you are calm and you know exactly what you want. You are focused on what you're doing without thinking about anything else. So why is that one so important to me right now? Because I've noticed through a lot of my daily ventures that I'm not fully present. I'm not fully focused. Like my phone goes off and I'm answering a text message. I've got an important task to do, and I'm in the task. I'm going at it, and an email notification pops up, and I look at that. So I'm gonna have to do a lot more podcasting on just the being present portion. I don't want to get off track here. So number 2. So to summarize the end of that, the being present, what I'm doing going forward is if I'm doing this podcast right now, I'm not paying attention to my phone. I am only giving you the exact message at this time, and I'm being fully present. And I'm enjoying this moment. I'm enjoying this moment to share this. Even if nobody listens to it, I am enjoying that. And that's what is important, is I am enjoying the moment. And I think it's a super good thing to be fully enjoying the moment and being calm and knowing exactly what you want. Like the outcome from this is just to be able to listen back to it again, maybe at a later date, or that it helps someone else. So that's my reason for that. So number 1 for me is being present. Number 2 is being deliberate. So so many times throughout the year, I realized that a lot of my actions was not aligned with my goals. A lot of my actions was not being on the right path to accomplish what I wanted to do. I was in rooms that I shouldn't have been. I was in rooms that I should have stayed longer. And I decided there was certain rooms that I didn't even join that I should have, because I was not being deliberate. I was just in the doing. I was just going forward, not paying attention to everything. So being deliberate for me, to carefully think or to talk something through. So if I have some goals set, are those goals important? Is what we're doing right now have a outcome that is aligned with where I really want to go? Am I being deliberate in this podcast to manifest something I'm working on? Is it going to accomplish something? So to carefully think or talk through something, being deliberate. So, think it through. Slow and measured is important. And I guess my water bottle's warming up because that's what just popped. And the next thing is the pace of this kind of careful decision making. So, we sometimes have to make decisions on the fly. But I also feel like even when we have to make decisions on the fly, I'm a big guy on, not being reactive, be proactive. So we make reactive decisions sometimes. So maybe sometimes we need to go back and we actually need to look at that and go, maybe that was a decision we had to make right then, but this is what we need to do now. So slowing that decision making down. And a lot of times I've found you can slow a decision down to where you can be extremely proactive and make the right decision the first time. And then if you choose deliberate to be deliberate, you are making a very conscious, well thought out choice or a decision. You're making that decision being very well thought out, well planned. And throughout the year, I've noticed there was a lot of decisions. There was a lot of things that I shot from the hip on that I probably shouldn't have done. Or I should have just made a few more decisions that would have made the outcome a lot better product. So being deliberate is my number 2. Number 3 is a huge one for me. And I have some personal beliefs around this because I am professionally a very impatient person. I also believe certain things need to happen in the right time. I also believe that doing things in desperation have negatively affected some of the outcomes in business and in personal life because I try to force something to happen, to try and make it happen at a certain time. Now, I'm a hard charger. I'm a workaholic. A lot of times I'm a hammer. I'm going to beat something till it's into place. That's not all the time a good thing. Using your mind and using the right tools and doing things the right way can make things so much easier. So again, I'm really big on the spiritual side of things, that some things are not supposed to happen right now. So being patient is the capacity to wait for something, or the capacity to wait for someone else or something while accepting delays or problems without becoming anxious. Sometimes my wife could tell you a story about this. I might just go ahead and tell it. Where we live, we haul our own water. And the weather was getting bad. We live up north and we needed to get water. We didn't know how long the snow and the ice was going to last. So essentially we had an ice storm and then we had snow on top of that. And I was like, we need to fill up the water tank so we don't run out of water. So I went to town. I got my truck, my trailer. I load up the water tank. I fill up I think it's like 1,100 gallons of water, and I'm coming up the hill, and my truck won't make it up the hill. And I'm going to win. Like, the goal is to get this truck and trailer to the top of the hill, and I'm going to get there no matter what. And I don't care what it takes. So I tell my wife, hey, get in the truck. I'm going to get the tractor. I'm going to take the tractor, and I'm going to pull the truck with the tractor up the hill. I'm going to get this thing up there. My wife's like, this is probably going to all melt off by tomorrow. I'm like, nope, I can't count on that. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get this truck and trailer, and I'm gonna put water in that tank. So next thing we know, we're completely off the driveway in the yard, because we live on a little bit of a hill. The tractor's putting ruts in the yard. The truck and trailer's putting ruts in the yard. My wife's like, oh my God. I ended up emptying the water tank halfway down, got a run at it. I get to the top, back up, drop the hose in the water tank. I put probably 400, 500 gallons of water in the tank, and I said, I won. My wife goes, Yep, you did, honey. You won. So the next day, everything melted off. I was a jack. I was a real jackwagon. And I felt like a jerk. So being patient would have really paid off. I would have not burned up so much fuel in the tractor, the truck, put ruts in my yard, and so on. In business, there was certain things that if I would have been patient, things would have had a much better outcome. So being patient is my third pillar. So number 1 is being present. Number 2 is being deliberate. And number 3 is being patient. Now, back to the meditation practices in this book. So I'm going to go real quickly, and I'm going to recite his and see what you think about the ones. So here is his. So his daily meditation, his daily mantra meditation practice is this. Kevin, the author of this book, would, find a cool, calm place, collect himself, and he had some practices. I'm not going to give away the seeds because I think you need to buy it, or not really buy it. You need to get this book in audio form or in this form, and you need to read it. I believe you need to read it. I'm serious. It really made an impact on me. I think it'll make an impact on you. But here it is. So in his mantra, the mantra elements here. I am happy. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am grateful. I am generous. I am intelligent. I am successful. And I am sober. Those things right there is something that he repeated to himself every day. And during that process, he would feel like he was actually happy and he was actually healthy. And he did that. He manifested to get to a happy, healthy, wealthy, abundant, grateful, generous, intelligent, and successful and sober place. The man was already intelligent. I mean, he wrote the book. So the thing is he probably at some point didn't feel intelligent. So therefore, that's not what he did. So therefore, he had to, repeat this to himself to do that. So here, starting out, I have 9 of my daily meditation practices, my new mantra here. And my plan is to, sometime throughout the day, mostly probably in the morning, is to recite these to me to remind myself of what I am and what's important so I can manifest a lot of the things that I want to do and be successful at that and become a better person overall. So here we go. Number one, I am spiritually connected. Sometimes throughout the time, I feel like, there's probably no one else on earth but me outside my family and my friends. And I know that that's probably not true. We all talk about the universe. We talk about God. We talk about Jesus. We talk about all these different things. And everybody has a different belief. But I don't feel like you should ever feel alone in this world. I feel like feeling alone is how things can go horribly wrong. And we don't need to do that. So my number one is I am spiritually connected. Number two is I believe. I believe that that there is things out here for me. And I believe that things are going to happen for me. And I have faith is number three. So I believe and I have faith. I have faith that things will happen. And I have to have that faith to put in other people's hands sometimes to make sure that this does happen. I am present. I am patient. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am thankful. I am joyful. I probably do need to put in there at some point, Kevin didn't start out with all of his. He finished with a very large list. His list was small when he started. I'm starting out with probably a bigger list than Kevin did, but I'm going to try it. I need to put in here something that I am intelligent, that I have a lot of education. I am very well educated, and I can teach a lot. I can give a lot away. So from the top down, number one, I am spiritually connected. I believe. I have faith. I am present. I am patient. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am thankful. I am joyful. So then I've dropped down to, Kevin talks about in this book that he has a daily to-do list. And on that daily to-do list, there's certain items that he's going to check off to make sure that he is getting to where he wants to go. And his daily meditation mantra practice is one of his daily to-do lists. Some of this might sound like totally crazy, and you're like, why is this even important? Well, I can tell you from doing what I've done in the last couple years, and even over the last 6 or 7 years, I have grown in so many better places and become such more impactful to other people because I have become more. So my daily to-do list is this. Say thank you. That might sound crazy. To say thank you. So I believe that if you woke up this morning, you should be thankful. I believe it is a miracle that we wake up because today was not promised and tomorrow is not promised either. People die from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, COVID, pneumonia, like all kinds of stuff. And it's a great day that you wake up. So the first thing for me is to say thank you. Now, I want to share something with you. When I wrote down this say thank you, I don't know why, and it's because I don't know because I didn't say thank you yet or what, but I become very emotional when I wrote this. And I started saying I'm thankful. And the feelings overwhelmed me to the point that I started to like almost tear up a little bit. Like, not because I yawned or I sneezed, because the emotion was there. And I was like, man, So I have to think for a minute, like, is it because I was really in my three pillars? Because I was present and I was being deliberate, like in my thought process here, and I was being patient to not like run off and do other tasks. Like, what was that? All I can tell you is I kept saying I am thankful until the feeling kind of just went away. But after that, I felt alive, like I felt really good. My next one, and that you're going to laugh at this one, I'm sure you will. I mean, in the comments, I'm probably going to get blasted here. Drink a bottle of water. So take one bottle of water first thing in the morning and drink it. It's important. I'm telling you. For health reasons, for every reason, drinking a bottle of water is important. It's important to me. I don't know if it's important to you, but it is. It does good. It's what the body needs. So anyway, drink a bottle of water, a healthy breakfast or juice. You know, so many times again, I'm not paying attention to my three pillars. Like I jump up, get dressed, take my daughter to school, whatever I got to do that day, and it's like, oh man, I'm hungry. I'll stop by the bakery and get a scone, or I'll get a muffin, or or maybe I'll really splurge and run through a drive-through and get a breakfast sandwich. Now I'm vegan now, so I don't do that. But or maybe I'll just get some hash browns and just eat the hash browns. It's not a healthy breakfast. I was not being patient. I wasn't being deliberate, and I dang sure wasn't being present to think about what I'm putting in my body. So a healthy breakfast or a juice. I either make my own juice, I buy a bunch of fruit. Me and my wife, we've got a cold pressed, I think it's blender or something like that. And we actually, cut a pineapple and we, drop it down in there. We make our own juice, beets, lemon, ginger, turmeric, like we make our own. It's really busy right now, so I'm having to just buy my juice. This one here is carrot, apple, cucumber, beet, and lemon. Really good. So anyway, healthy breakfast. My healthy breakfast can be a juice. Gym workout or exercise, 30 to 45 minutes. I travel a lot, so sometimes where I travel, there's usually exercise rooms or something like that. I can't get to my gym where I have, my routine equipment. I feel comfortable. So sometimes maybe that 30 to 45 minutes is just walking, running, doing something outside. Maybe it's a hike, but putting in that daily 30 to 45 minutes. This is one I'm sure not everybody's going to agree with. And it's different than saying thank you, in my opinion. Pray. Talk openly and give thanks and ask for help and put things in his hands. For me, that's my daily to-do list this far. The next one is 30 minutes of reading. That's what I did to finish this book. I got super busy. Everything else seemed more important. And I set the book down for probably a week and a half. I wanted to finish it before the 24th or the 24th of December. Didn't happen. And I didn't do it because I just didn't put it on my daily to-do list. I didn't make sure that I was doing it every day. So I decided, hey, I'm going to read for 30 minutes. And that's how I finished the book. That 30 minutes, a lot of times in captivating chapters, got me to read an hour. So, and I ended up finishing I read like an hour and 20 minutes to finish the book. I'm a slow reader, but I read every word because I want to soak it in. I think maybe my better practice would be that I read fast. I can read fast, but maybe I read through it fast and then read it again and read it again until it soaks in. But I like to read slow So I take it all in. So the next one is, as stated, I want to write my own book. I've actually been writing on my own book for probably several years, and it just hasn't become real yet. I mean, I've got chapters, I've got pretty good start, but it's just not finished. So I put in my daily practice here, or my daily to-do list is a 1 hour writing my book. The next one is checking goal wayfinding. Is my path aligned with my goals? So I'm setting my goals. I feel like anything we do, we have to write down our goals. And when we write down our goals, they have to be in line with where we truly want to go. Like, I'm a visionary, so I think of a lot of things. But a lot of the things I think of never come to fruition because I never grabbed a notepad. I never grabbed my phone and just put it down and just put the vision down, and then took the vision to actually put down goals to that vision and start manifesting. So when a vision happens, your mind is giving you this vision. And we don't know why we're given these visions, but we're given this vision. And then maybe that vision should be an actionable item. So the first thing is to put that vision on paper, and then to start manifesting that vision. How to start manifesting that vision is to start goal setting and putting goals to that, like a 90, a 30-day plan, a daily plan, a 90-day plan, and so on. So I'm breaking my goals down here in 90-day increments. So 4 quarters. Number one for me, 90-day, these are personal goals, less than 200 pounds. Today, now the scale last night actually said I was 198. The scale at the gym says I'm about 215. I don't know which one's lying. Probably need to get another scale and see which one that is off. Or may go to the doctor's office. I don't know. So anyway, less than 200 pounds. Still want to be physically fit. I don't want to just 200 pounds and skinny. I want to still look like I am a daily fitness addict. I believe that daily fitness people, you can tell that they have discipline. When you see somebody that's 6 foot tall and 200 pounds that looks like they should weigh 250 and they are just lean, you know that they are hardworking people. You know that something means something to them, and they spent the time to get there, and they've been patient enough, deliberate enough to do what it takes to stay with the discipline and showing up at the gym every single week to perfect that body. And they're probably going to live long. So under 200 pounds, fully raw vegan, like high raw vegan. So I'm a vegan right now, have been for a little over a year. I've splurged from time to time. I've gave the excuse when I travel, it's hard. I've gave myself the excuse that, finding good things in the grocery store is hard. Taking the time to cook is hard. But anyway, me and my wife have made a pact. She's been vegan for a couple years now. And she also, has splurged a little bit. But for the most part, 85% of the time, I am vegan. But I felt the benefits when we first started of actually being fully raw vegan, high raw vegan. And there was tremendous benefits to me. I mean, things really changed. And I went from 245 pounds to 218 in a probably less than 3 months, I would say. And I've maintained below the 218 mark. And I've maintained my strength, my muscle, my agility. Like, it's crazy. And that's working for me. So number 2, halfway to picture day. So I have this goal that when I finally release my next company, my next fund, I would like to be on the front cover of Men's Health magazine, or on the front cover of maybe Forbes, or in an article, or maybe Entrepreneur magazine. But got this crazy idea. I would like to write an article with me on the front, or on the article, as a visual representation of my body and the things that I've done with mind, body, spirit, health to get my body in the shape. And I'd like to probably do it with my shirt off and have like suit pants on, and then have my coat jacket, my blazer or my suit jacket hanging over my shoulder, or maybe on but open, and you can see a six pack, which I'll never have a six pack because I have a pretty nasty scar across my stomach. That's for another podcast. So I want to be, just ripped up, but I'm not a fitness, like my daily job is not fitness. Like I'm not a personal trainer. So to be that, I have to dedicate time. I'm not just an influencer. I'm not a guy that's just going to the gym to take pictures on Instagram and make money. Like I make my money through my entrepreneurial journeys, like being a fund manager, being in real estate, being in mentoring, being in business consulting, and consulting people in business and consulting people in real estate. That's how I make my money. I also own some businesses. They kick off some money. So I'm not an influencer that can just on Instagram and just go to the gym and take pictures all day. So what I want to do is I want to do that picture on that front cover or on this article of why fitness and health matters, and why it matters on when you're light on your feet and you look in the mirror and you're like, man, I'm doing pretty good. You get feeling good about things and you can accomplish things. So that's one of the things. I want to be halfway to picture day. So by June, I want to be halfway there and know that, hey man, I'm getting pretty close to reaching out to writing that article and putting that picture on that front page or whatever and put it out there. And if I can't get on the magazine, then I'll just do it on Facebook or whatever. But personally, that's something I want to do because I love inspiring other people. So halfway to picture day, first draft of my book completed. So I don't know, maybe it's 130 pages, 150, 200 pages. I don't know, but I got to finish this book. And I've gave myself too many excuses. I got to have the first draft done, and then up by 4 a.m. each day. So I noticed that maybe I've started to fight maybe some depression. Maybe it's winter depression. I don't know. There's been a lot of things happen in life. I've not been able to get up at 4 a.m. each day. And that's really started to bother me. The getting up by 4 a.m. each day, we're going to do another podcast on that and why that's important and why it's magical to me to be up at 4 a.m. So I've slacked on that. I've let go of that. Usually I was an up by 3:30, 4 a.m. guy, and I was just killing it every day. I was a workaholic. And I've noticed I fall into kind of a trap. Maybe it's depression. I don't know. I'm trying to work through that. So I'm off my target right there. So that's my 90-day personal goal is to get up by 4 a.m. each day. Number two, not number two, my God, where am I going with this? Running under an 8-minute mile. That's important to me. I used to be a powerlifter, competitive powerlifter. I never thought about running. I did cardio. I did. But mostly that cardio was working my butt off in between sets and only taking a 1-minute break. Or I did, pop-ups, burpees, stuff like that. But running was not part of my daily activities in powerlifting. It just wasn't. So now that I'm 40 years old, I'm not really wanting to, really push the envelope and deal with the pain all the time and the dedication to that. So now I picked up running because I want to really impact my cardiovascular system. I want to see the veins out. I want to know that there's no risk for heart attack. And that goes along with my diet. So running under an 8-minute mile, I've run so far last year. I did, now this was on a treadmill. So go ahead and blast me with the comments. On the treadmill, I did 8.11, 8.16, 8.34, and 8.35 or 8.36. That was my best consistent 1 mile, like just going as fast as I can. But that was without stopping, just running through it. So I felt really good about that. I've done that in a year. I started out at a 10-minute mile. And well, first I couldn't even run a mile consistently. Like I might be able to burst and then walk, or I might be able to get halfway through a half a mile and then I had to walk the rest of the way or something. So I've made some pretty good strides in that. My next thing is running 3 miles steady above 5 miles per hour. So far I've been practicing to run that mile, and I just learned that what I did wrong is if I really wanted to run my fastest mile, I should have trained for 2 miles. Just the same as when you raise capital. If you need to raise $5 million for your real estate deal, you need to target to raise $10 million. Sounds crazy, but especially today, that's what you got to do. So anyway, running 3 miles steady above 5 miles per hour. Also, not on this list, I would like to do an Ironman, full Ironman. So I want to make sure that I'm really making strides for this. And then, I get into my weekly task, my monthly task. So those were my 90-day goals. I'm going to break those down to my weekly task that's goal-oriented, and I'm going to break them down to my monthly task goal-oriented. And then I have my 90-day business goals. And then I have those goals broke down to, weekly and monthly targets. I'm going to use Asana, which is a tool we use in one of the companies that I'm affiliated with. And it's really, you can set goals, you can set reminders. So I'm going to probably use Asana for this, and I'm going to physically put in each one of these. And that's my daily to-do list. So every day, I need to go in here and check these things off to know that I did them. More of being accountable. So, man, we're at 42 minutes. I know I've probably been a bag of hot air for you all. Hopefully you found some value in this. I'm going to try to get Kevin on the horn here, and I'm going to see if he'll do a podcast with me. I've got some podcasts coming up with some other guests, and I'm also guest speaker on, I think, 2 other podcasts here coming up in the first quarter of this year. Also working on brushing up some of the speaking skills here. I've done several speaking engagements online. I want to do some speaking engagements in person on mindset, real estate funds, business, entrepreneurship, the so on. I'm big on creating the indestructible wealth, and I love teaching that. So, hey, if you know someone that's looking for a speaker, let me know. I also am I'm not opposed to giving away a speech, whether that's online or whether that's on stage. So, hey, starting out here, if you know somebody that's looking for a speaker and you feel like my content is impactful, I love helping other people. So give me a shout. I'll be happy to join your stage, join your podcast, your Zoom, whatever that is. And I want to talk about the things that can help people out. So these are the things that I'm doing that's helping me out. And reading has been huge. So I've finished my year last year with audiobooks at just over, my goal's been reset because it's a new year, but there was 25 books that I read last year, not read, but listened to and read. So that was 24. This year, I'm probably going to do like maybe 30, but I'm going to continue that. So, man, education and doing these things, being consistent, they're helpful. And also, I'm going to get much better at posting on YouTube and doing more Facebook Reels. So if you want to follow me anywhere on any platform, go to Eddie Austin BEX. If you've liked this content, please leave me a comment below. Positive or negative, let it happen. Just let her roll, man. And secondly, if I could ask you to do one favor for me, I truly want to impact. I want to leave the world a better place than I found it. I want to bring extraordinary value to people. So with that, please, by all means, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, and maybe even hit the little notification bell so every time I roll something out, you're the first to see it. And again, thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I know everybody's busy. This was 45 minutes long now, but thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. Even if you skip through it, tell me how I did, and look forward for upcoming podcasts because I got a few coming out, and I'll be sharing on my social media some of the podcasts that's coming out that I've been a guest on. So y'all have a great day. Be extraordinary. And I like to say hashtag BEX, that is be extraordinary. So let me explain that real quick. The Eddie Austin BEX, the BEX for me is to remind myself to be extraordinary. And the hashtag BEX community. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here, listening, watching, sharing. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.